Have you ever boarded a plane and felt that flutter of anxiety, the tiny voice in the back of your mind wondering if everything will go as planned? Well, what if I told you that Southwest Airlines, one of the most trusted airlines in the United States, recently received a safety warning so alarming it sent ripples across the aviation industry? Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss these shocking stories from the skies. It all began quietly. An internal safety report flagged something unusual, something that could have been easy to overlook. But for Southwest Airlines, ignoring it wasn't an option. The warning concerned their fleet of Boeing 737 planes, aircraft that have been the backbone of the airline for decades. Engineers discovered a potential issue with the fuselage, the very skin of the aircraft that keeps passengers safe miles above the ground. Now here's the thing. Commercial aviation is one of the safest modes of transportation in the world. Every aircraft is subject to rigorous inspections, countless tests, and multiple safety checks. But when a warning like this lands on the desk of a major airline, it's impossible to take lightly. It's not just numbers or technical jargon. It's the lives of thousands of passengers and crew hanging in the balance. Southwest Airlines had a choice. They could treat this as a routine technical notice, or they could act swiftly, possibly disrupting schedules, delaying flights, and inviting public scrutiny. They chose the latter. In a move that surprised many, Southwest grounded several planes for additional inspections. Flights were canceled, passengers stranded, and the airline faced the difficult task of communicating the situation without causing panic. Yet behind the scenes, engineers were working tirelessly, dissecting every detail of the warning, running simulations, checking and double-checking each aircraft for any sign of structural weakness. The warning itself was technical, about stress cracks in the fuselage. These cracks, if left undetected, could lead to catastrophic consequences at high altitudes. For most travelers, the words might sound abstract, almost like something out of a science textbook. But for those who understand aviation, it's the kind of problem that commands immediate action. Experts have said that stress cracks develop over time, often invisible to the naked eye, and can appear in planes that are otherwise perfectly functional. Southwest's fleet is extensive, and the scope of the inspections was unprecedented. Mechanics had to comb through each aircraft meticulously, sometimes removing panels and scanning metal surfaces for the tiniest fracture. It was painstaking work, and time was of the essence. What makes this story even more compelling is the human element. Flight attendants and pilots were briefed, anxious about the implications. Maintenance crews worked long hours, often under intense pressure. And for the passengers, news of the safety warning spread quickly across social media, stirring fear and speculation. For Southwest Airlines, managing perception became as critical as fixing the planes themselves. Meanwhile, the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, was closely monitoring the situation. They issued guidance to airlines, recommending immediate inspections and mandating reporting of any detected cracks. For Southwest, this wasn't just a compliance issue. It was a matter of reputation and trust. The airline had built decades of loyalty, but trust can be fragile, especially when safety is involved. Behind every canceled flight and delayed schedule was a story of dedication. Engineers and inspectors working in the early hours, poring over blueprints and structural schematics. Pilots reviewing safety protocols. The weight of responsibility was enormous, and every person involved knew that lives could depend on their meticulous attention to detail. What's even more shocking is how close some of these aircraft came to entering service with unnoticed stress fractures. A small oversight could have turned routine flights into disasters. And yet, thanks to the early warning and proactive measures, a potential crisis was averted, though not without shaking the industry and leaving both passengers and professionals alike questioning the invisible risks we take every time we board a plane. As we explore the aftermath of this safety warning, it becomes clear that aviation, while incredibly safe, is also unforgiving of mistakes. One tiny crack, one small oversight, can have consequences far beyond what anyone can imagine. This story is not just about machines and metal. It's about people, about responsibility, about the invisible vigilance that keeps us safe at 35,000 feet. And it raises questions. How often do airlines confront issues like this quietly? How many times has a potential disaster been prevented simply because someone paid attention, because someone refused to ignore a warning? What Southwest Airlines did in the face of this crisis shows both the power and the limits of modern aviation safety. It's a story of caution, urgency, and ultimately, the delicate balance between technology and human judgment. As inspections continued, the extent of the issue became clearer. While the cracks identified were mostly minor, the fact that they existed at all in planes considered routine and reliable was unsettling. Southwest faced the monumental task of not just repairing aircraft, but restoring confidence, both inside the airline and among passengers. The maintenance teams worked relentlessly, often for 12 hours straight, carefully replacing panels, reinforcing weak points, and conducting non-destructive tests to ensure every plane was airworthy. Every small decision mattered. Even a minor miscalculation could have far-reaching consequences. Engineers collaborated closely with the FAA, sending detailed reports on each inspection, ensuring that nothing was left to chance. For the passengers, this period was stressful. Thousands experienced cancellations or delays, travel plans were disrupted, and social media was filled with speculation. Yet many acknowledged that these inconveniences were small compared to what could have happened if the issue had been ignored. And that acknowledgement underscores something essential. Aviation safety is invisible work. You rarely notice it until something goes wrong. Southwest Airlines also faced a media storm. Headlines ranged from cautious praise for their proactive stance to alarmist speculation about the potential dangers of flying. Executives held press briefings, emphasizing transparency and their commitment to passenger safety. Behind the corporate statements, however, there was real human concern. Mechanics, pilots, and crew were all acutely aware that the warning was serious, and that lives literally depended on their expertise. This safety warning sparked a broader conversation across the aviation industry. Airlines worldwide began reviewing their own fleets, looking for similar issues. Manufacturers, including Boeing, were scrutinized over the structural integrity of aircraft that had become workhorses for decades. Regulators revisited inspection protocols, realizing that even the most rigorous systems could sometimes miss something critical until a red flag is raised. And then came the difficult realization. This was not an isolated technical issue. It was a reminder of how quickly problems can escalate if vigilance lapses. Aviation experts stress that stress fractures are not new. They develop over time, silently. What made this situation remarkable was that it had been caught early, before any incident occurred. The warning had done its job, but it also exposed how fragile even the most meticulously maintained systems can be. Amid all this, the human stories stand out. A mechanic working late into the night described feeling the weight of responsibility like never before. Every bolt I tighten, every panel I inspect, I know someone's life depends on it. Flight crews, briefed on every technical nuance, carried the knowledge that their passengers were counting on them in ways that rarely make headlines. And passengers, while frustrated by delays, shared stories of gratitude, praising the airline for acting decisively rather than risking safety for convenience. Southwest eventually completed inspections and returned most of its fleet to service. The airline implemented additional monitoring procedures, ensuring that future issues would be caught even earlier. The crisis served as a wake-up call, not just for Southwest, but for the aviation community as a whole. Even trusted systems must be constantly scrutinized, and safety is never something you can take for granted. In the aftermath, discussions emerged about the balance between efficiency and safety. Airlines operate on tight schedules and thin margins, but this incident reminded everyone that no timetable is worth risking a human life. Safety must come first, every single time, even if it disrupts travel plans or profits. And in the case of Southwest Airlines, taking that difficult path reinforced a vital principle. Passengers, trust is earned through diligence, transparency, and the courage to act when danger is unseen. It's also a story of accountability. The FAA, Southwest, and engineers worked in unison, proving that collaboration and meticulous attention to detail can prevent tragedy. Aviation may appear seamless from the passenger seat, But the reality is a complex network of professionals committed to managing risk, anticipating failure, and intervening before disaster can strike. So what can we take away from this? Flying will always carry some level of risk, but the invisible work behind the scenes, the warnings, inspections, and tireless human effort is what keeps that risk extraordinarily low. Southwest Airlines' response reminds us that safety is not just a protocol. It's a responsibility, a promise to every person who steps onto a plane. Next time you buckle your seatbelt and feel that reassuring click, remember, someone somewhere has dedicated hours, sweat, and expertise to make sure that little metal clip is more than just a piece of plastic. It's a safeguard, a tiny but crucial part of a system designed to protect your life. Southwest Airlines faced a shocking warning, yes, but they also turned it into an opportunity to reinforce their commitment to passengers. And that's the takeaway. Vigilance saves lives, transparency builds trust, and even in moments of fear or uncertainty, human diligence and courage make the difference between disaster and safety. If this story fascinated you or made you think differently about the skies above, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories of aviation, safety, and the people who make it all possible.